Hey, good evening, everybody. John here at Havoc Maker Studio and FMP Wargamers. So normally I don't do a late night video. I usually save my time to do some videos during the day. But I've got some Facebook updates from a number of people. Got some email updates from people inside Games Workshop over in the UK. And then I did a little bit of digging because I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't even get wind of this. And it's because I've disconnected myself largely from all that is Games Workshop for a number of personal reasons. And I guess it'd be professional reasons, not my professional relationship, but their professional relationship with me. No. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that's the right wording. But, and there's a whole bunch of clamor and I just it was a little slightly alarming because within about an hour I got hit with updates, like I said, emails, some Facebook Messenger related stuff, and then got tagged in a couple Facebook posts. I'm like, what the f is going on with Games Workshop? Well, let me show you what's going on with Games Workshop because I try not to talk too much about them these days, just because there's a lot better games out there and a lot better pricing, a lot better playability, the whole works. So there's a pricing update coming from Games Workshop. Now, before I dive too much in this, I would like to point out something about Games Workshop. And you can, and I'll have a link in the description below about their financials. So 2019, the first half of their year, which is June to the end of November, beginning of June to end of November 2019, and then they had a pretty, you know what? I think I still have the link. Yes, I do. Let's scroll down till we find it. They went from 148 million British pound, I forget what it's called, um, to 186.8 million. It's a huge growth, and that was pre-pandemic. They had a huge explosion onto the scene, and then going into 2020, we had, even though it was still the pandemic was at its high point or getting to its high point. They still had great sales. Didn't have too many global shipping issues and such, so they had a little bit of a slower growth. So, but still, within 6 months, they went from 148 million to 186 million. That's some big ass profits. Let me tell you right now, that's big numbers. That is big numbers. 40 million pounds is big numbers. And then coming up from 2020 and comparing it to this last their not first quarter, their first half. I don't know if I said quarter, but first half, they went from 186.8 to only 191.5. So they only had a small growth, but they still had about a 5 million growth in revenue. In some of the other areas, they increased their was that about by 35 points, their dividends. Basic earnings per share dropped a little bit. Cash generated from operations dropped. They had some numbers drop, but they overall, most of their numbers went up. I mean, looking at royalties, receivable went from 8.7 to 20.1 million. So, I mean, it wasn't the best of years, but it was still a good year. Now, they had some bad things going on this year, mind you. Even though it looks good, it's still kind of a commercial failure. As of right now, the Warhammer TV, or is it Warhammer Plus? I think it's Warhammer Plus, kind of a failure. On multiple markets, slow growth with the number of viewers, and most people are just piggybacking off the same accounts. I mean, that's kind of standard with streaming, but the quality of the service is just utterly bad, especially when they aggressively attacked a lot of fan-made videos on YouTube and that were higher quality, fan-made, and higher quality. Like you really can't even compare the quality. You really can't. And you know what? You can. It would be like looking at a Jim Lee comic book, like a Jim Lee X-Men comic book, and then having your 3-year-old draw you a X-Men comic book with crayons. So those fan-made videos are the Jim Lee comics, and the Warhammer TV ones are the kid ones. A lot of those videos, those animations were just flash animation. They were low quality, so they lost money there. Even though they still have a lot of viewers. I think I think around 1 million some odd subscribers. I could be wrong on that, or maybe it's 1 million views. It's around 1 million views on it. Still a lot, but with their attacking, just really bad attacks against fan-made videos, and then the release of some poor quality, and then they had issues with the releasing. It was supposed to be every Wednesday, and then it's be like, well, it'll be released on Wednesdays. We just don't know which Wednesdays it'll be released, but it'll be on a Wednesday. So I mean, it's just a bad product now. I've had a chance to look at it, not too happy with it. I've watched a couple of the videos. Even some of the people had cut the videos down to review them on YouTube, and I'm just like, this is poor, guys. Come on. I oh well. Not going to dwell on that. So some bad stuff happened. We all know about the global issues with transporting goods and such. We know that there's a lot of issues happening right now. So over on Spikey Bits, before I forget to give them full credit, I was intending to do all. In fact, I started doing all the crunching the numbers of the product. Started going through the list, and I was like, hold on a second. Let's check Spikey Bits. And sure enough, Rob and his people already got that stuff available. So full credit to him. The link for this information will be in the description. So please head on over and give it a more detailed read, because we're not going to go through all the items. Now, Games Workshop, let me walk this back just a little bit. They said there's a whole bunch of price changes, anywhere from 5 to 20% off. They're blaming this on electricity, gas, raw materials, shipping, which I do believe. Inflation is abroad in the land, and they're not immune to the effects. Okay, I get that. So regrettably, they'll be increasing the prices soon by a little. So anywhere, like I said, 5 to 20%. For an example, they said a box of Space Marine Intercessors will go just up 1 pound, so 35 to 36, which here's the rub of it. You're like, oh, 35 to 36 pounds. Well, that would make it about $48 if you do current conversion. So basically, we can just round it up to say $50 US to the 36 GB, the British sterling pound. Okay, but Games Workshop also taxes anything shipped out of their country, essentially. I'm just calling it a tax. I don't know if that's the correct terminology. So here in the US, that box that should be $50 is actually $60. So it's only going to go up a pound there, but percentage-wise, that box is going to be $65. So pretty much everything is going to be going up. It looks to be anywhere from $3 to $5 on average. Now they do say something. Before I forget, this happens on the 7th of March. That's coming up in about a month. Now they say there's two bits of good news. There's a heap of things we've been able to keep at the same price, which is paints, brushes, paint sets, and a lot of the starter sets. There are certain currencies where we won't be changing any prices. Well, UK, US, and since we're here in the US, that's what I'm focusing mainly on. They do have a number of things that are not going up in price. Underworlds, starter set, Harrow Deep, a lot of small starter sets, right? Getting started. The smaller stuff that doesn't sell a lot. Excluded currencies. So these are the ones that are not going to be getting hit. Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and China. Really? China? Wow, that's a big surprise since all your product is made there almost. Anyways, so those countries are not getting affected, but the US and the UK and most of Europe, Canada, and such are getting hit with this. So how many product or how many items are getting hit? Remember, they said, let's see, I want to get the quote right. I want to make sure. There's a heap of things that we've been able to keep the same price. And that's what we looked at: paints, brushes, paint sets, and tools. You know what? Brushes went up last year in 2021. So, yeah, that's good that you didn't raise the prices, but not even a year ago, not even, well, I guess it is a year ago, just a month or two ago, you raised the prices already. So, we're just going to go ahead and roll that on up in here. So let's take a look at Spiky Bits. There's actually 3,000 line items, or is it over 3,000 line items that are getting the price increase, guys. So they said, oh, there's a heap of things that were not increasing the prices, but it's not a lot. It's chump stuff. It's not where they make their money. And so I'm not going to go through everything, but I'll tell you some of the worst things. So like I said, most things are $3 to $5. Gray Seer paint, or the primers, are going up about $2. Codexes are going up $5 or $10 for the collector's edition. So keep that in mind when you're buying your codexes. And just to point this out, in 8th edition, which just ended in 2021? No, 2020. Sorry, 2020. In 2020, those codexes were $40. So less than 2 years ago, we were paying $40 for our codexes. Now we're paying $15. So within 2 years, our codexes have jumped up $15. Unless you got the collector's edition and you're already paying double the price of a regular codex, and now you're paying $10 more. So it's almost $100 now. So yeah, that they're keeping in line. So now your codex is going to be $55, which makes me wonder how much the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook is going to be. That's a good thing. I'll see if we can find this on here. But Weird Vein Psychers, I think those are from oh goodness, what is the name of that set? What's that game? Necromunda, gone up $2 or $3. Blood Bowl Trophies pack has gone up $7. Not that there are people that play Blood Bowl. There's not a lot. Defilers have gone up $5. Chaos Space Marine Predator has gone up $5. You guys can go to this webpage and get a very good look at what has gone up. I'm not going to go through all 3,000 items because we'd all be bored. I'm just really surprised that, within 2 years, I just did that math in my head. Within 2 years, we're up $15 on a gosh darn codex. And keep in mind, guys, that you need the codex and you need the rulebook to play this game. So now, unless I don't know if that rulebook has gone up. I didn't see it on the list here. Nothing's in alphabetical order, so it's really hard to figure that out. If you guys know, put that in the comments below. But right now, you're paying $60 for the main rulebook. I've talked about this in some of my other videos, and $50 for or $55 for your codex. That's let me do math. $115 just in rule books, guys. $115 in rule books. There are so many miniature games out there right now. Small scale, faster to play, a lot more fun, a better community that you can get invested in with a full, especially if you like tournaments, and have a tournament ready army, the rule books, everything for the price of just having your gosh darn rule books. Now, am I telling you to stop playing Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, or anything Games Workshop related? No. If this is what you enjoy, if this is your hobby that you love, man, go for it. But when I'm just going to ask this, when is enough is enough? When are you going to be done? How much are you going to stop giving them for every edition? Which is about every 3 years now. Every 3 years, you're buying new models to update your current army. You're buying the same rule book with very little changes every 3 years for now $115. This is a bad move. This is the wrong time, I think, for Games Workshop to be doing this. And I think a lot of commentators out there, I can't vouch for the ones that are in with Games Workshop, the ones that get early releases or special free boxes for unboxing and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to mention those guys, and well, I'm not going to say who those guys are. You guys know who they are. You've seen their videos, and at one point I was a little jealous. Right now I'm just kind of scrolling through some of these so you guys can get some good pricing increases. War Scroll cars are going up $3. Really, Games Workshop? Jesus. Anyways, they won't talk negative about Games Workshop because they want their free goodies. They want their and be able to get the free entry into events, get the free products from them, early products, all that sort of thing. I don't get that here. At one point in time, I was like, man, this would be awesome if I could do that. But that time has already gone and passed. And, if their grift is, just towing the line, the company line, like a lot of people do with, say, Disney and the NBA and such like that, LeBron James and all that kind of stuff, if they toe the line so they can keep in the good graces so they can still get their free stuff like that, I respect the grift. I really do, and I'm not harping on you, but there's enough of us out there that are going to be like, you know what, we're not going to let Games Workshop slide on this. We can't let them slide. This is ridiculous. There's no need to do this. Just because you didn't make $40 million in 6 months doesn't mean that you got to start gouging your customers. We're already paying way too much already, especially here in the U.S. We're paying about $10 to $12 more for a box of Space Marines than the UK. And now we're going to actually be spending, what did I just say? $10 to $12. So now $15 to $17 more for 10 Space Marines. Really? That's absolutely bonkers, crazy, ridiculous. And $55 for a army book that's required for us to pay or to play with, and a $60 rule book. Come on, GW. This is a bad move. I think there will be some blowback on this. Does this mean it'll be the collapse of Games Workshop? Absolutely not. Is this a bad move and it's bad optics? Absolutely. I think this is going to hurt them in the pocketbooks a little bit. I think it's going to bite them back, or they're going to get bit. No, wait. Oh God, what is the phrase? You know what I'm trying to say? It's going to bite them in the butt. Let's go with that one. I think that sounds about right. And it's such a shame because, as you guys know, I've been involved in Games Workshop and Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar for 30 plus years. I'm one of those old timers, and I like to mention that I've done it for 30 plus years because it's kind of cool that I've been in a hobby that long, but it's also sad that I've given them so much time, money, and effort, and I really don't have a lot to show for it. So consider playing some other games, guys. Check out some of my other videos, giving a breakdown of some other games that you can get into that require very little investment. You're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of customization, a lot of tournament play that is way better than what Games Workshop is providing its customers right now. So if you are a big fan of Games Workshop and you're going to kind of carry that flag and stand and die on that hill, then you go for it. I'm going to cheer you on because I'm not going to cut you down on what your hobbying is, what your favorite game is, whatever version of the hobby, whether it's playing tournaments or just building, painting, miniatures, and socializing, whatever it is that you enjoy, you keep doing it. I'm just going to suggest watch one of my other videos and consider looking at some alternative games that aren't going to break the bank for you, and you might end up enjoying a little bit better. Anyways, my name is John. This is Havoc Maker Studio and FMP Wargamers. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will chat with you real soon. Talk to you later.